Hey everybody, welcome back to School Sucks Live. This is Brett. I'm here tonight with Kate Baker. You might remember Kate if you've been listening for some time to School Sucks. She was on episode 40. The name of that show was Transition. And we discussed the possibility of non-government solutions to public education. Well, now Kate is about to take over as the executive director of the Network for Educational Opportunity. And Kate, you want to tell us a little bit about what the Network for Educational Opportunity is and what you are going to be doing there?
Okay. When the music stops, or I should...
No, just go right ahead. It's like it's not even there. It's just
like
ambiance.
It's not there.
Yeah.
The Network for Educational Opportunity is an organization. It's a nonprofit, actually a 501c3, that helps families to find options, education options for their children that may be better options than the public schools or different options. For example, supporting homeschoolers and helping them with ideas or solutions, helping people start private schools or alternative schools, basically supporting independent education in general. And my task as the executive director is going to be to implement the school choice legislation in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire just passed a scholarship tax credit where a business can make a donation to a scholarship organization, and the scholarship organization can give that money to kids choice education options. So they may want to choose to go to a private school, and that scholarship could be towards their tuition. So the business, the benefit to the business is they get a tax credit. So against their BET and BPT, different kind of taxes that they would otherwise pay to the state of New Hampshire. Now they can take a tax credit and give the money to kids' school education, tuition.
Now,
so my job's implementing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now, when people hear that phrase, school choice,
okay,
what they hear sometimes, or something that they've learned to associate with school choice. And maybe it's a bad habit, maybe it's wrong. And something I've certainly been critical of on the show in the past is vouchers. Okay, well, the program, the legislation that we have in New Hampshire is very different from a voucher.
Yeah. A voucher would be dollars that would come from the state to a school usually. And this is a scholarship program. And so the businesses donate to the 501c3, and the 501c3 awards the scholarships to children. And so it's not money that's being taken from anywhere or going through the state, or it's not like it was state money that's going somewhere else. It just never goes there. It's from people, individuals, businesses.
So money that is
voluntarily donated for children's tuitions.
Money changing hands voluntarily in education, huh?
Yes, because people want children to have options.
Right.
There's a lot of schools that aren't necessarily a good fit for some kids. They need to go to a different school. Currently, there's a lot of families that can't afford tuition.
Yeah.
And so this is a way that you can help a child to afford tuition at a school that might be a better fit for them.
Yeah, and so this is revolutionary, because one of the things that I've been so critical of about vouchers is I say this is the big suck-in. This is how they get everything under the control of state departments of education, the federal Department of Education, the NEA, and just kind of like looking forward.
I mean, I don't know. That's pretty extreme, because I think a voucher is an improvement.
Okay.
From geographic assigning of children to a school based on where they live, which is what we currently have, right? So if you live in a particular neighborhood, you go to that neighborhood school. You have no other options, right?
Sure. Okay.
And so a voucher, I think, is an improvement over that. Even though what we have in New Hampshire is not anywhere close to a voucher system, I would think that it's an improvement if it was a state that has a voucher over a standard no choice at all.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
I mean, you can say that it's more control. I get that, but...
Do you think I should have a tinfoil hat on while I say that what would probably... I mean, if you look at the powers that be in the institution of education in this country today, you couldn't see when money, which is taxpayer money, but once the taxpayers turn it over to the government, they say, well, this is public money. These are public resources. And now we're giving them to these unaccountable private schools. So they have to be brought under our control.
See, I mean, in this case, in New Hampshire, the way it is it's the families that are making choices for their own children.
Yeah.
And so it's totally separate and different from what you're discussing.
Yeah.
Although I would say that because it's come from the individuals to begin with, their tax dollars for their children's education, or whoever, you pay taxes for other people's kids' education.
Sure, property owners.
Individuals really do have the best possible judgment for their own kids, especially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And again, you know, my whole thinking, I mean, I'm a real idealist in this respect. And I know that you and I have talked before, and you're more than happy with the incremental approach, and you are.
Well, not more than happy with it. I mean, I live in the real world here.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
I live on this earth, and there's things that happen around me, and I see them, and I feel like I need to help with the solution.
So yeah, but what you were saying is, as you know, you look at what the Network for Educational Opportunity might be able to do in the next couple of years.
Yes,
I mean, hundreds of kids saved from this system. That's significant, you know, to those kids, to those families. That really matters. And I think, you know, I'm all about, you know, freedom starts on a personal level, it starts on the, you know, the individual level. And if you are talking about getting rid of the Department of Education and ending the Fed and taking on the military-industrial complex, you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to feel powerless.
No,
but what I'm saying, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Because I think you do wind up, I think a lot of times people wind up really burned out when they don't start, you know, with themselves.
Okay.
So
I see.
If as soon as I understand the philosophy of liberty, I think what I'll do is I'll go and fight against the Federal Reserve, one of the most powerful organizations in the entire world.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, or like me, choose to help children to possibly get them a better education.
Right.
I know that some public schools don't work.
Yeah.
Okay, like I think I saw an article that said, it's in my pile, 70% of the schools in the state are designated as needs improvement. I mean, 70%. So, I mean, I just think there's probably some alternatives for those kids that would be better for them in the long run.
Who designates needs improvement?
Oh, well, of course, that would be, let's see. I think that's Big Brother. I think that's the federal government, perhaps. No, that's the state. It's the federal government.
Yeah, isn't it under No Child Left Behind?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the state does the testing, but yeah.
So that's by their standards,
I mean, of course.
Right?
I mean, of course, but I mean, it's a number.
Sure.
I mean, we can talk about other reasons why kids should be able to choose what school they go to.
Oh, absolutely. I totally
mean, it's
agree.
not just because the test scores are poor at public schools.
Right. So you obviously landed yourself in this position by having probably like a considerable amount of success doing this stuff before, right? Like you've been involved in this fight for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I just helped. I like to work with people to start schools.
Yeah.
And I started a parent support group for gifted kids in 2004.
Yeah.
And so I worked with a lot of people that were having a difficult time with the public schools and helping them to figure out alternatives for their own kids. So it's very similar to what I've been doing continually all along.
We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back. I'm here with Kate Baker tonight. If you want to join our conversation, 843 join SSP Skype and School Sucks Live. We'll be right back.